Hello and welcome to a special episode of In and Around Hollywood. This episode is called The Writer's Strike for Dummies. Whether you realize it or not, the strike has already affected TV and the movies. The first affected were talk shows like The Colbert Report, The Daily Show, and the late night talk shows. But some of my favorite shows have already been affected, like Lost, 24, and The Office. If the studios don't do something quick, we might not see a new episode of Lost or 24 for another year. What exactly is the strike about? Well, let's start back in 1988 when the last major contract was signed between the Writers Guild and the studios. Now, the strike in '88 lasted only 22 weeks and cost the movie and TV industry $500 million in losses. So that shows how important writers are. Without writers, we have actors standing around staring at each other. The writers are very aware of how this impacts everyone, but they just want a fair share of the biggest industry in America. Writers didn't wake up and wonder how they can screw television viewers. They just want to be paid fairly for their hard work. I have personally seen the picket lines, and I can tell you that everyone on the lines would rather be writing and getting paid than standing in front of the studios picketing. The major issues are, for one, the studios want to delay paying residuals, which is the major source of income for writers and actors, until producers have recouped their cost. Okay, let's look at that. For one thing, most movies make more money in DVD sales than they do in the theaters, and the studios know it. They know they might lose money initially, but they'll make the money back with DVD sales, tie-ins, and television airings. But what they want to make writers wait until they get their money before a writer gets paid for the hard work that he already did, which is pennies on the dollar to the amount the studios would make from it. Studios are making billions of dollars a year. If they lose money on a flop like Heartbreak Kid, they'll make it back on the Transformers. Oh, and just a side note, they already greenlit Heartbreak Kid 2, so they must have made some money off of it somewhere. Now, most writers in Hollywood live off residuals to pay the insane amount of rent it costs to live in Hollywood, and aren't making millions of dollars a year. I doubt any studio executive could say the same thing. Another issue is that the writers currently get 4 cents for every DVD sold, and they've asked for a raise to 8 cents for every $20 DVD sold. So let's see, it costs about $3 at most to make a DVD, including advertising. So $20 minus $3, that's $17 the studios get, and the writers are asking for 8 cents. Let's say another 10 cents goes to everyone else that worked on the movie, and the studios are still getting $16.82 per DVD. The writers aren't asking for half, they're literally asking for pennies. Then there's streaming videos, being able to watch an episode of your favorite show online. Now, despite the fact that it earns studios and networks significant advertising revenue, the writers get exactly nothing, because they claim it's used as simply promotional. But if it's promotional, how can the studios justify making money off the promotional material and not paying writers for it? If the writers shouldn't get paid for writing the promotional material, then the studios shouldn't get paid for the same material. If you look at streaming videos and minisodes online right now, there are advertisements, which means the studios are making money. And in the case of The Office, where the writers wrote minisodes for free and earned Emmys from those episodes, yet the writers saw no money for their hard work. So let me ask you this. You go to work today and your boss says, hey, on top of all the extra work that you do, I want you to do more work off the clock so I can earn thousands of dollars off of it. Would you be happy about it? The producers claim they don't know how the media will be in the upcoming years. So they don't know how to pay for that material. But if that's really the case, and they don't expect the online media to generate much revenue, then why not pay the writers 8 cents? If someone asked me to sign a contract paying them 8 cents for every time I drove to Albuquerque, since I don't ever go there, I really wouldn't care about signing it. And if they are worried about paying the writers too much money for a medium that doesn't generate much money, then let's look at how much money they make from iTunes. 50 million TV show episodes have been downloaded since iTunes started offering this service. Now that sounds like a lot of money to me, and it doesn't look like the internet's going anywhere. Now, more and more people every day are watching shows online. They're downloading shows to their iPod and their phones, so this isn't a dying medium. This is the beginning of a new era of TV viewing. Back in 1988, the studio said there wasn't much money to be made in selling movies on videos. But DVDs make more money than the movie theaters, and more TV shows, new and old, are sold on DVD than ever before. Now, this is a booming market for the industry, and writers just want to make sure they get paid whenever the studios get paid. And that's it. So let me say this to anyone from the studios that are watching. The only ones that know how Jack, Kate, Sawyer, and the rest get off the island are standing in line outside of your offices now. Just pay them what they're worth and let them get back to work. I'm Kurt Sandvig. You've been watching In and Around Hollywood, but mostly in lines.